Grand Theft Auto might exist because Pixar thinks it owns the rights to unicycles. DMA Design was founded by Dave Jones and based in Scotland. They were the company best known for making Lemmings, the 1991 massive hit. They also made games like Menace and Blood Money and Hired Guns. They were a respected studio. These were not amateurs. And they were one of the few game developers with access to SGI workstations. Basically, it allowed you to take 3D images and make them into 2D, which gave games like Donkey Kong Country its unique look. So when DMA was planning their next game, a racing game based on unicycles, everybody, including Nintendo, thought they were getting in on the ground floor of the next big hit. And in 1994, Uniracers came out for the Super Nintendo, also called Unirally in Europe. It was built using the SGI workstations, which is why the animation looked so fluid. And Nintendo loved it. It sold well, and they were looking at it to be the pillar of a new franchise. And then Pixar sued. Pixar claimed that the unicycle design used in Uniracers was a ripoff of their design for an animated short they made called Red's Dream. I don't know how many ways you can depict a unicycle, but apparently Pixar thought they owned computer-generated unicycles. And unfortunately, somehow, a judge agreed. DMA lost the lawsuit, and the court capped production of Uniracers at 300,000 cartridges. So, DMA's shot at a family-friendly Nintendo franchise was dead. But they still had a relationship with Nintendo, so they pitched another game. Body Harvest was an overworld action game where you fight off aliens invading who are trying to harvest humans. And they pitched it as an N64 launch title, an opportunity to get in on this brand new hardware. But Nintendo didn't really like all the gore and blood and violence, so they backed out as publishers. The game still got made and released just without Nintendo's help. Midway took over the publishing in North America, and Gremlin handled it in Europe. Nintendo didn't kill the game, they just walked away from it. And since DMA had to scramble to find a new publisher, the game was 2 years late, outside of its release window, and without Nintendo's name on it. And with their relationship with Nintendo basically dead, DMA needed a new project. And around the same time, one of their programmers had been working on a side project completely unrelated to Body Harvest and Uniracers. In 1995, the team pitched an idea for a new PC project, Race and Chase. It was built around Mike Daly's top-down city rendering engine, Lego Vision. It had parallax scrolling buildings, and the camera would pull back as you sped up. It gave the whole city a sense of being alive. And the concept was very simple. It was cops and robbers, except you were playing cops trying to stop criminals in the city. And originally they had 3 cities planned: Liberty City, San Andreas, and Vice City. But the development was a mess. It was planned to be done in 18 months, and it took almost 30. The whole project was almost canceled several times, and there were long periods of time where it seemed like the game wasn't really going anywhere. Also, playtesters hated the rigid cop missions, but the game had a bug that would make AI police cars constantly ram into the player's car. And players loved the bug so much, they actually started ignoring the game missions just to trigger more car crashes. And DMA leaned into it. They kept the bug, and they switched players from playing the cops to playing the robbers, and they embraced the open-ended chaos over linear missions. It was effectively the birth of the open-world sandbox formula. They changed the name from Race and Chase to Grand Theft Auto, and the game was released in '97. And it was not released quietly. While Uniracers and Body Harvest got killed by controversy, GTA steered into it. GTA's violence caused real backlash and moral panic when it was released. All that violence that made Nintendo so uncomfortable about Body Harvest? Well, DMA built its biggest successful franchise by leaning into it. And in September of 1999, Take-Two bought DMA Design for $11 million and taking on their debt. The team behind Grand Theft Auto, a franchise that today has made over $10 billion, was bought for $11 million. And in 2002, DMA was renamed to Rockstar North right as GTA came out, and the series went 3D and became a cultural touchstone. A respected studio that got burned twice by Nintendo, once for a lawsuit and the other for violence, created one of the biggest franchises in gaming history because of a bug they didn't fix. They stopped making games that other companies wanted to make and focused on just making something that was fun. Nintendo rejected them for being too much, but turns out too much was a great business plan. See you next time.